everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of Conversations with Musicians. I'm here with one of my favorite artists, Andrés Aparicio. Hope I pronounced that right.
Hey.
Andrés Aparicio.
Aparicio.
Yes.
Love it. I got it right?
That's perfect. Yeah, that was better than my parents could say it.
Love it.
What's up, Matt?
What's up?
Conversations.
Yeah, I'll just start off firing some questions. I ain't nothing about Jazz Hound.
Oh, yes. Is that a question?
No, I was just saying that because. No.
Oh, I thought you were asking me what the origin of that was.
Yeah, let's fire with that first.
Okay. So I was watching The Great Gatsby with Leonardo DiCaprio, and there's a part where they go to a bootleggers type club, and Gatsby, Leonardo DiCaprio, he mentions something. He says like, "Oh, I'm a jazz hound," or like somebody says like, "Oh, you're such a jazz hound." So I just really thought it was a funny thing to say. So I got it from that movie. Yeah, that's
Good one. Have you seen the other like renditions of the movie too?
I saw the older one. I don't know if I've seen one of the older ones. Yeah, I have.
Forget the guy's name. And there's like a Paul Rudd one that was like a straight to DVD movie.
There's a Paul Rudd Great Gatsby?
I don't trust you.
I did not know
check.
that.
It's actually good.
I love Paul Rudd. So
yeah, me too.
It's so hard.
That's very cool. I did not. I've seen like the old one.
I know Wanderlust.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name.
I've
Robert
always
something.
really liked The Great Gatsby. Always really
can't
liked
go
it.
wrong with it.
Yeah, I always really gravitated.
Why does your internet suck? It just does.
All right, Matt.
Next question. I was gonna ask, like, what kind of got you into music and making music?
My Chemical Romance, playing the violin, and
women.
Yeah, I guess that's it. My Chemical Romance and playing the violin.
So you started playing like in high school or something?
I started playing the violin in 3rd grade, and then I discovered My Chemical Romance in 5th grade. So the combination of the two just kind of led up to where I am right now.
Do you still play violin? I know like my cousin used to play and she did not get very good and then fell out of it.
I played violin when I was a kid, and then I switched over to bass, and I played bass for the rest of my childhood, and I played guitar on the side. But I don't play violin too much anymore. I still do play bass pretty well, but I don't play the violin that much. I could play hot cross buns, but I'm not really like. What really happened was my fingers were really too big for the violin neck, and I was just like, I'd be a lot more comfortable playing the bass where my fingers are a little bit more spread out, kind of thing.
Oh, can you slap?
You don't slap the classical bass.
Not the videos I've seen.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Classical bass is played with a bow or pizzicato.
Sounds like somebody just doesn't want to play the bass.
Yeah, that might be the case.
I think it's there's a band called Go Go Penguin, and they're like a trio instrumental group. He slaps the bass. Massive standout.
On the stand-up?
Slap at the bass, man.
Hey, you know what?
They're amazing.
That sounds awesome. I would actually like to see that. I'm interested. I'm gonna look this up after we're done because that sounds awesome.
Yeah, they make some good shit, like especially if you like, I don't know, like really catchy math rock, like upbeat, jazz stuff.
Love that. That sounds great.
What kind of music do you like to listen to, Matt?
pretty wide variety. Like I love math rock, instrumental,
Word. You like prog?
indie stuff. Yeah, prog.
Fuck yeah, dude. You a Rush boy? You look like a Rush boy to me. You get down with Pert? Are you a Pert boy? A Pert pal?
I don't mind it, but I'm not really the biggest classic rock fan.
Oh, dude, if you watch the documentary, Neil Peart has one on Netflix, actually, both of you. It is fantastic. Dude's a genius, dude. At some point, they're just like, Getty's like, we didn't know how to write lyrics, but this guy reads books. We let him do it. Tom Sawyer comes out, dude. He's like a little, like, I'm not telling Picasso how to paint, is all I'm saying.
I did get to see them in Michigan. Back in 2011.
Paul Rudd.
For real?
Correct. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, it came out in 2000.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We are watching this
I'll cue it up.
right now.
I'm finding it.
The rest of this podcast is going to be us watching
this. Live streaming Greg Gatsby 2000 drummer.
Holy shit. Oh, wait. He plays Nick Carraway.
Yeah. He's Paul Rudd. Of course he's the lead.
Who the hell is Toby Steve? No, Nick Carraway is not the lead.
Oh, no. He's the person, the perspective of the narrator in the book.
He's like the asshole.
He's the cousin that comes and hangs out with Toby. Toby is Gatsby.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Tom Buchanan is the asshole.
Yeah. Tom Buchanan.
Nick Carraway is Toby Maguire in the new... Okay.
Yeah,
I got it.
We figured it out.
All right. We got it. We're going to watch this.
5.8 out of
worth it.
We'll figure it out. I'm not mad.
It's better than that.
We'll figure it out.
Next, I was gonna ask you, so where you get the ideas for your music videos? They're always like hilarious. Like everyone loves Self-Aware. I personally loved Shit Could Be Worse a lot.
So Self-Aware.
Street.
You know the scene where Jason is chasing me around shirtless in like a muddy pond.
Swamp.
Yeah.
That's him right
Oh,
there.
that's me. Yeah.
He lost a lot of weight.
That's awesome.
But that's him, yeah.
It's funny. If I hated myself long enough, I lost some weight, and then everyone else likes me more. So I don't know what the message is there, but
that scene.
Cut that. That was
so
my
that scene. He was riding the canoe.
We got stuck,
and we didn't realize that the tide would get so low. So when we shot that scene, I was like, okay, like what's gonna happen is like you're gonna chase me in your canoe, and I'm gonna be in my own canoe, and I'm gonna like get out of the water, and then you're gonna chase me. So we tried to run it, and it was all mud. We didn't realize that the tide was so low; it was all mud, and we both just got caught in the mud, and we just ran with it. But he in particular was like very theatrical about it, and he was just like kind of thing, stuck in the mud, and I was literally just trying to get out of the mud. I wasn't even looking at him. And then when we looked at the footage, I was like, holy shit, you were still acting. And it was really funny. So that's
what
like
made perfect comedic timing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a gift. I don't want to brag too much. But...
I mean, as far as the other videos, I'm just like a theater kid. Like I was in plays, and I just have like a really good sense of storytelling and, you know, organizing productions and sets and costumes. So I'll just have like an idea and just kind of run with it. A lot of the times I'll just kind of look at different sets that are available to rent out. And specifically with Shit Could Be Worse, I saw this set for a courtroom, and I was like, wow, a courtroom set. Like that'd be funny to film something in there. And then that was like the first idea that sparked the music video. So then I was like, okay, hold on. It'd be kind of boring if everybody in there was like regular people. It'd be more funny if it was like Sesame Street characters. So then that was the next idea. Okay, let's get some Sesame Street costumes. And then from there, just kind of took on a life of its own. But that's how most of the videos run. They're just kind of like little ideas that sprout into new ideas and then just kind of make it happen.
Yeah, I didn't know if you like went off the lyrics to try to write or like come up with the concepts too.
Not too much. I mean, like Prom 2012, yeah, like that video takes place in like a arcade type setting. And usually before you go to prom, before I went to my prom, I went to a place called John's Pizza which is it's like an arcade buffet pizza plates.
A what?
A buffet.
Buffet.
That's a buffet.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Or a buffets. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Is that what you call it? A buffet?
No.
He says buffet.
No. He's fine. He's just uncultured. That's fine, Matt. I just met you. You seem nice. But let me just school you real quick. There's a T. We pronounce T's apparently in this language. So
you ever heard of Italian? They don't pronounce T's in Italian.
Or L's apparently.
I'm from Canada. We say buffet. I don't know if Americans say different.
It's a buffet.
Obviously, it's a cultured man. You have a different dialect than what I might be used to. The buffet, though, in our neck of the woods.
No one says buffet.
No one says buffet.
We say
They say buffet.
No one says hometown buffet.
Okay. Anyways,
buffet.
Before one of the proms I went to in high school, we had gone to a buffet, and they had an arcade kind of thing. So I just took that whole story literally. It was just like, hey, we're going to this fun arcade before we're going to our prom kind of thing.
I was wondering too, at the end of the music video, the woman again from the future ex-wife, she's on the jet, right?
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
plane.
okay. So yeah,
I was like, what's going on with that? Every time I've watched the video, I'm like, what?
Inception?
Yeah.
It's an Inception.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So what happens in Inception is they perform an Inception on this guy while he's on a plane.
I think he's asking
Makes a lot more sense now.
Same character from Future Ex.
Yeah, Jordan's character is the same character from Future Ex-Wife. And in this scenario, for prom 2012, I perform an Inception where we share a dream together, and the dream is a dream that we had when we were in high school and we were at our prom.
Nice.
Promception.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm sure like maybe other people probably thought that too. It just at the end of that, I've seen it a couple times now. I was like, what?
See, you need to know the movie Inception to get that video.
You see, what he kept out of
I've seen it so many times, but I feel like
You've seen Inception?
yeah, so many times. It's one of those movies. I'm just like, what?
That in the video?
Maybe we need to
It's
make
been like probably like 8 years since I watched it last.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I like love Inception, so it's like my tribute to that movie, if anything.
So what was the new movie? Like Tenet? That was very
Tenet.
similar.
I love
fire.
Tenet.
No,
I
you haven't
love
seen Tenet?
Tenet.
Oh, what is that?
Tenet
It's
is
amazing.
fabulous. I love that movie.
Tenet?
I
Again, I'm
watching-
like, it was so good. A little confusing though.
Yeah. You gotta watch it a few times. Like you gotta really think about it, which is why I like it so much.
You guys ever see that?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Inception.
It is. It's to me. It's like Inception meets Memento, because Memento is a movie about how you perceive time, and Inception is like a
The movie's
really
fantastic.
Yeah.
Inception was like his. Well, I mean it's like there's a lot of like big Hollywood moments with the explosions and the planes, but at the core of it, it's a movie that relies on acting and dialogue and storytelling.
Kind of like what we're doing, huh?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stevie
it's
and
one I haven't seen in a while either.
Which one?
Memento.
Oh,
I feel like
Memento's
most people haven't seen that.
Memento is a
It's a
fabulous
fabulous
film,
movie.
dude. I love that film. It's
No,
great. It's really
Memento,
good.
That's Christian Bale.
No.
That's-
Memento
that's
is
that
it's a
That's
movie
that
about a guy who
but who's in Memento?
His
Memento.
memory lost and he tattoos his whole body for
Yeah,
reminders.
he tattoos things on his body to remember certain things
Yeah.
because he forgets them
Yeah.
like, almost immediately. Really great movie.
Spoiler alert too, isn't like his wife die, and that's why he's trying to solve the
His
murder.
wife- no. That is not a spoiler because like
Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce. That's
Guy
his name.
Pearce.
That is like
He did
that's
good.
given to you, I think, almost immediately. It's like his wife is dead, but the spoiler or the conclusion
It's been
or
out for.
what people
So-
have a
Yeah.
debate about is whether or not the main character killed her.
He did.
Because there's
Spoiler.
debate.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
did.
He killed her.
I've never seen the movie, but he did.
Well,
The
You've
police
never
don't
seen
make
Memento?
police don't make mistakes. If they arrested him, he did it. I think that's
Christopher
how that
Nolan,
works.
Christopher Nolan likes to make movies open-ended. He likes for the audience to figure out what they think is the answer to the problem. He did that with Memento. He did that with
Wait,
Dark Knight Rises.
So Batman is the bad guy.
No, he did that with Dark Knight Rises and whether Batman
Died.
died or stayed alive.
Dude,
Yeah.
if Batman really wanted to help Gotham City, he would have just hired everyone.
Yes, we all saw that meme on Instagram.
What? There's a meme? There's a meme?
Yeah.
I'm glad.
He also did that with Inception, where the thing is still spinning at the very end.
That's a good meme.
And I think he does that with Tenet a little bit. It's very open ended. So at the ending of Memento, you're left as a viewer. You're wondering, did the main character kill his wife, or did this guy he just killed his wife? Because the guy that he killed is like, no, you killed your wife. I've been trying to fucking like help you, and he's like, no, you killed my wife. And they both of their stories check out. It's like, who are you gonna believe, the criminal or the guy who has memory loss?
The criminal every time.
It's up to the viewer. And I think that's Christopher Nolan's thing. He's like, I'm gonna leave it up to the viewer to decide.
I prefer that, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
more
know, Did
fun.
you guys see like the new Matrix movie, for example?
Yes, I
haven't seen it yet.
did. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Is Keanu in
What
it?
did you think?
He better be, dude. Is Lawrence Fishburne in it too?
No.
He's the only one I did.
Dude, he
that.
is my favorite character in any of those
It's
movies.
like about Morpheus.
Yes, of course it's Morpheus. Lawrence Fishburne is his Christian name, sir.
Yes, Morpheus.
The Lord.
There is a much younger Morpheus in the movie.
That's not fun.
I think it's really fun the way
Is
they
it
like
fun?
made it work.
I'll
Yeah,
watch it.
it's pretty
Okay.
fun.
You convinced me.
What did you think, Matt? Did you like it?
Hit and miss. I don't know. Keanu Reeves, I'm like, has he always been this bad at acting?
Yeah, he has. But we love him.
Watch Speed though. I liked him in Speed.
I think-
Yo, Speed is so good.
I like Speed.
Personally, when it comes to like that
Billy
debate of
Idol.
whether
I
Keanu
never
Reeves is
saw
bad at
that.
acting or
It's
not,
on HBO.
I think it's like his style. I think
John
he
Wick?
just made his own style.
Like the action scenes and everything are fantastic. It was just
They're
the-
awesome, yeah.
it could have been the script. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's usually what it is. It's
It just
usually
kind of felt like a cash grab.
You know how-
Yeah.
like it too.
Yeah,
Same
it's
shit.
just kind of like, oh, you could do it.
That
now.
question that you asked, has he always been bad at acting? That reminds me of a question that we asked with singers that we like.
Yo,
Was he always a bad singer? Like singers that we grew to love as kids.
Yo, one step further than bad singers, we had this conversation. We saw Taking Back Sunday at Chain Reaction
Bad
before
singer.
they did. But like, this is the thing though. Taking Back Sunday's most famous songs came out 2000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, how do you feel as an artist? I love Taking Back Sunday, but your most famous shit is 20 years ago. How does that feel? And, you know, I asked him that question. And, you know, it's just, like, do we love people based on the art that makes us feel good? Or, like, what are they putting out? And, like, I don't know. I think it's shitty. I think it's shitty, you know? Like, let people kind of create what they want. I don't know where I'm going with that.
I would argue that like Taking Back Sunday came out with some songs that people resonate with over the last 10 years.
Agreed.
But they don't play them live, and that's why we're like,
They did a
oh.
Chain Reaction, though.
They played a few of them, but for the most part, they usually play their first 2 or 3 albums.
Yeah.
And they kind of sprinkle in some new songs. But they did have some newer songs these last 10 years that are pretty relevant with their fans. So that's actually pretty good for them.
That's a good point.
But going back to
the original question.
the thing about being a good singer or a bad singer, we all love bands where the singer isn't that good, but we love them and they created their own style. And I kind of feel like that's Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves may not be traditionally a good actor, but he created his own style of acting, and we as the audience obviously love it because he continues to make movies that we watch.
Yeah, that's some Bob Dylan shit. That's right. Keanu's on that level.
Yeah.
Good
Keanu
point.
Reeves is like Bob Dylan.
Keanu Reeves is current day Bob Dylan.
It's like Connor Oberst.
Snaps of agreement, just so we're on the same page.
Wow, he's like Tom DeLonge.
Yeah.
He's like Adam Lazaro.
He's like Adam Lazar. He's
like
forefront.
Andrés.
He's like
He's like
Andrés.
Yeah.
Yo, I have a question real quick. And I know this isn't about me, and I
Who's got a question
apologize.
for you?
I'm not
That
Keanu.
hoodie is dope, sir. What I just want you to give a shout out to whatever brand that is, because that is a really cool hoodie, and I wish I had one.
Oh, I'll have to ask my my brother got it for me.
Oh, word, dude. It's really cool. I really love it.
I'm already dead. I think that's probably the brand.
Dude, that's really
Yeah.
cool. You're staying fitted, dog. I just want to make sure you give the shouts, right, Connor?
Facts.
Right, Connor?
Facts.
All right, cool.
Yeah, my brother is a tattoo artist, so he's like really into following designers and
Where do you
stuff.
guys at?
By the way,
Good question.
Pardon?
where are you guys at?
I live like an hour north of like Toronto in Ontario. Like way the other way.
Canada.
Are you in Canada?
Yeah.
You got all that free
Holy
healthcare and
shit.
like, tolerance and
Oh
shit.
my
They don't have time
God.
for us.
Matt, I had no idea that this was a Canadian podcast.
Yeah, we're not interested anymore.
I would have treated this thing a whole lot differently.
Yeah, like I tried to see you, I think it's probably like 2 years ago on like the Royal Coda Strawberry Girls tour with like Hail the Sun too.
No, I wasn't on that.
No?
I did a Tillian tour that I was supposed to go to Canada.
That was it.
Yeah.
The luck.
I'm actually not allowed to go to Canada.
We're not allowed in Canada.
Yeah.
I like the I think it was the Lucky Devil or something it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I have a DUI here back in the States, and they won't let me come through.
Matthew, how far are you from the city of Detroit in the grand old United States?
Pretty far, right?
How far is pretty far?
Isn't Toronto
5
closer to-
hours. My
yeah.
like my whole family's from Windsor though, like right on the border of Detroit. So I go over
Oh, for
quite
real?
often. Yeah,
Oh,
so like I was just there 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's the northest we can go legally without somebody like asking questions.
I go to Detroit, I go to New York, and I've been to Buffalo and shit. I've gotten really close to Canada, but I can't go to Canada.
That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Damn, dude, I didn't know you were in Canada. This makes everything different.
Yeah, we like you less.
I have so many questions.
Yo, I
Shoot.
love Canada. Thomas Paine's the one who said, "The world is my state and my religion is to do good." Fuck
I
anything
thought
else.
he said the world is my stage and
Nope.
we are all just but players.
That might have been the second thing he said, but I'm pretty sure the first thing he said was what I said. I can almost Google it to be positive.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was Macbeth. I don't know.
It was Macbeth.
All right, Matt from Canada.
You got 20 seconds. Sing your heart out.
Ask us some questions. about me.
Hey, that's more balls than I got, homie.
I guess the next question I was gonna ask, I asked this for Ben too. Like, what's your favorite song that you've either been a part of? Like, doesn't have to be your name, like your song, like one that you featured on or one you put out. What would you say is your favorite?
Like my favorite song that I sing on?
Yeah.
Or I don't get it. Or is it my favorite song like by anybody?
That you're part of in
Yeah.
So
some
you're
way.
a part of like
Something you wrote.
Oh, like a song that I'm really proud of is the song that I wrote called Boys in the Van. So Boys in the Van, it's on an album called Heroes and Villains and all that jazz.
Yeah, you got it.
That is a song that I'm really proud of when I think about like,
oh this guy.
yeah.
Who's that skinny guy is what I want to know.
Yeah, who's
It's
this
not
guy?
fucking wine.
Hey,
So
but this
Boys
is
in the Van, Boys in the
fantastic.
Van on that album is one of my favorite songs ever. Sonically, and I think it's like one of the most unique songs I've ever written. It was like the first time that I tried doing like this like whisper chorus thingy, and I just thought it was very experimental and fun to make. And then the album after that, I have a song called A Child's Garden of Verses, where most of it is like violins and cellos, and I think that's also one of my favorite songs that I've ever written, just because again it was another like experimentation that I thought really came out well. And on the last album, I really love all the songs, but I think Miss November really, like, if I'm thinking about something that I'm really proud of, I think Miss November was a song that I really incorporated a lot of different styles that I like, and a lot of emotions that I want to convey, and a lot of lyrics that I was proud of. And I think Miss November is it's a good last song for an album because it kind of just has everything in it. It has emotion, lyrics, it's got like a fun upbeat part, and then it's got this like really emotional waltz part with like brushes on the drums and acoustic guitars, and I think that song is like sonically really cool.
Yeah.
So
your
altogether,
sequel song.
yeah, altogether, Boys in the Van, Child's Garden of Verses, and Miss November are like three songs that I think over the last few years are some songs that I'm really proud of.
I love Child's Garden of Verses. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of My Chemical Romance a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, I love that band. So that's awesome.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I think maybe still probably my favorite though. I don't know. It's just so
Oh, yeah, I
damn
love
catchy,
it.
man.
Yeah, I love Maybe. That's such a fun song to play live. We're gonna play it on the upcoming tour.
Oh, wait, you're going on tour, Andres? When does that start?
Right now.
Let me get the set.
Okay, we're good.
Rip it.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, I'm sorry.
I usually play Maybe. It's like very fun song to play off that album. And I've played it for the last few tours, and we're gonna do it on the new one as well.
Are you gonna bring back the pinstripe suit?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
I asked, just so everyone knows.
I like to keep it fresh, wear something new every
The
time.
top hat.
Yeah.
Yo.
It's all over with.
It's Mr. Monopoly.
I'll never do it again.
He's gonna get a monocle.
I imagine like if you're going on, like when you're going out on tour and you're doing like a couple weeks, that shit probably smells. And you probably can't really take it to a dry cleaner.
I brought it on one tour. I brought it on one tour, and I wore it very selectively. I only picked like the best shows to wear it at.
What are the best shows?
I wore it in Philly and Chicago, Orlando. Like I picked like the best shows, so it never got stinky. I only wore it like a few times.
The best like venues or larger cities kind of
Just
thing.
like the best, like okay, so like the best shows are usually like A markets, which are like the bigger cities. So I'm talking like Chicago, Philly, Brooklyn, Orlando, Atlanta, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, and then California, we got Orange County, Sacramento, places like that. But not all of them, just most of them.
Makes sense.
And I think I was able to give it a wash at some point in the tour. I think I was able to give it a wash. Most of my stuff I usually give a wash.
Are you done with the outfits now? At least for the next tour?
The new tour, I'll be wearing nice stuff. I'll be wearing some suits, and I try to wear nice stuff here and there, kind of thing. Yeah, I sometimes when I'm on tour, I'm just wearing a t-shirt and shorts because I'm lazy. But like there are like certain shows where I'm like, I need to look nice, and I will like dress up like nicely.
Getting fancy.
Yeah.
To prove a point, I live in Los Angeles. Andres doesn't. He lives in Orange County, not too far.
They're right next to each other.
Right next to each other, buddies. I asked him to come hang out with me once. And he's like, for sure. I would love to come down and go to your bars. And I said, great. Can you please wear can you wear a pair of pants so that way people at the door don't get fucking huffy with me and say we can't get in?
I never wear pants.
Do you know I was on the phone with this man for fucking 45 minutes trying to explain to him how jeans are the good move here, not because I'm trying to take away from individuality of any sense of it. I'm telling you that nobody needs to see those size 36 quads just gallivanting around. You know what I'm saying? He's a big boy. He's moving weight. You should be scared. I am. But like, I think what it comes down to is really just understanding the system. The most anarchist thing you can do is follow the rules. And let me just tell you, you're a pain in the ass, but I love him because he's a good guy.
I usually like never wear pants. I only wear shorts.
Are you talking about trying to get to like a nightclub kind of thing? Or
Yes,
Not even a
dress
nightclub.
code?
Bar.
Anywhere. They're like,
Bar.
you can't get in here unless you're wearing pants. I'm
It
like,
sucks.
well, I'm wearing shorts. And they're like, can't get in. I'm like, that's fine. I bet there's a dive bar around here we can go to. That'll be even better.
If someone who lives around there, there's not, and they want to wear pants too.
We always find a place to go. It's never a problem.
We're never sober.
The second try.
Yeah.
We get around. Charm and finesse will get you farther.
But
in life.
on this upcoming tour, I will not be wearing shorts because it's going to be way too fucking cold. I will be wearing joggers, which are
I will be wearing joggers.
which are basically shorts with longer legs.
I wear them all the time. I work at home, just like
They're
every
like
day
the
wearing
last-
joggers.
Joggers are comfortable.
Joggers are the male moo-moo. You know what
They're
I'm saying?
comfortable.
Just throw it on and call it a day.
They're
We're moving on.
insanely comfortable.
It is-
Joggers are very
It's
comfortable.
like yoga pants for moms.
Do you have
Yeah.
cotton ons in Canada?
Oh yeah.
I don't know how
Do you guys have
advanced.
cotton on?
I don't know how advanced Canada is as America as a first world country. Sorry, a developed nation. I just want to make sure that I'm not talking down to anybody.
No.
We're just curious. Do you guys have cotton on?
Yeah.
It's a
like
store
the
on the
brand.
Also, follow-up question: do you have to pay the SERP-inflated import taxes because Canada's part of the Commonwealth, just as Australia is where it's located? Is that part of your deal too? Because if so, I'm moving to Canada. If not, I'm moving to Canada.
You got to pay like imported shipping taxes.
Actually, Matt, I have a question for you. You ready for
Shoot.
this? Okay.
How did we?
Do you ever have people complaining about where they live and they wish they lived somewhere else?
Yeah, like all the time.
All the time, right?
Where do they want to live?
Where do they say they want to live? Do they say they want to live here or somewhere
Well,
else
like-
in Canada?
I live in a really small town, like probably
People in small
16,000
towns-
people. So people
all
want to
people
move
wanna
to
live
the city.
Yeah.
Wait, how far?
Who, me?
Yeah, you said how far from the city?
Like I'm about half an hour north of like a city of like
Oh.
200,000 people, but I'm about an hour north of Toronto. But everyone wants to move to Toronto or the other city, Barrie.
Word. Honestly, I heard
From
like
the six.
I heard 15 hours and I got scared. I'm like, how
No,
north
it's at
does Canada
half.
go? I know. I heard 15 and I was scared.
So
like,
Stevie
what?
and I grew up in a small town as well.
Yeah.
And our small town was also about 2 hours away from Los Angeles.
Oh, I should also say that we're like friends. I'm not just here.
Pretty far.
Just so
And-
we're all on the same page.
And so like everyone
I
in
kind of
our
figured.
everyone was like, "Oh, I hate it here. I wish I lived in Los Angeles. I wish I lived here or San Francisco or here." And me personally, I was a kid and I was like, "Why do you hate it so much? We're just kids. Like, what do you guys hate? What do you think you're gonna find in these other cities that we can't find here?" Kind of thing.
Debt.
And I don't know. I think to this day, I think that there's like this syndrome that people have where they just always want to live somewhere else. They don't like where they're from or they don't like where they live. Because when I travel across the country and I meet people in other big cities or small towns, they're always just like, "Oh, I don't like it here. I wish I lived somewhere else."
the grass is always greener, right?
Yeah, people always have this like grass is always greener on the other side kind of mentality, and I think it's interesting that it's everywhere. It's not just this country or your country. I'm sure it's other countries and whatnot.
That nobody's happy.
Nobody's happy. They always want to be somewhere else. Kind of thing.
Human condition.
Human condition. Yeah.
Yeah, then you move away and then you're away from your family or friends. Then you're like, oh, now I wish I was back there.
Yeah, things get great. We understand. You leave your stupid family, your stupid friends behind, and you move on to bigger and better things. It's fun. We all go there. It's not what the argument is here. I love you, Mom. She's not going to see
Miss
this.
you.
No offense, but you're not her demographic. I'm sorry. She likes solitaire and Sudoku. That's her time frame.
And murder podcast.
And murder podcast. She's a woman after all.
Play some euchre.
Some you. She's the child of the Lord, sir. Summer's a dip. I shouldn't say her full name. Can you blur that? Actually. Yeah, I mean, she's
Cut
not
that,
even
cut
like
that, cut
special. You just cut it out. It's fine.
Are you talking about It's Always Sunny?
Yeah, the podcast. Cut that.
Yeah, we're like
cut that.
cut that.
Don't cut that. Please
Matt,
don't.
Matt,
Please don't.
I just want to let you know right now,
Don't cut anything.
I am the biggest fan of It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, I love it too. I've been like, I haven't seen the episode that dropped yesterday or Monday, but caught up on the other podcast episodes too.
Oh yeah, the podcast. Yeah.
I haven't seen season 15 yet because we don't have Hulu in Canada.
Oh,
What?
shit.
So I don't know where to watch it.
Yo, FX.
Wait! You guys don't have Hulu?
Wait, you don't have a VPN?
I'm not gonna lie. If I lived in Canada,
Good
I'd be
answer.
like, "Fuck this! I want to live somewhere where there's Hulu."
Like you guys can't even like download it?
Yo,
I mean,
I'm telling you,
I found it on like Apple Store, whatever.
if you have a VPN,
like-
just set your settings to the States and then
You
can
guys don't
download
have
the
Hulu in Canada?
No, I think we have like Crave. That's like our substitute.
You could do movies 1, 2, 3, Google it, and then
Wait, so how do you watch It's
try
Always
that
Sunny?
one.
What do you watch it on?
Yeah, change the VPN.
Yeah, 2022, Andy, time to saddle up.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, Matt. I just want to let you know, the new season of It's Always Sunny is hilarious, and it's really good.
Monkey bear.
I gotta watch it. I'll do it this weekend.
I would say that like I think as like It's Always Sunny fans, I think with the last season, we're kind of like, oh, like it was good, but they might be kind of losing. I don't know. No, this new season is like they went beyond expectations. Like this new season is like has this like whole arc. It's super funny and like every episode like ties into each other, and it's really like I think they outdid themselves.
Do you think our show's gonna be that good?
No way.
We're making a show, by the way.
Even better.
Yeah.
Are you?
Oh, so the reason why we're hanging out is because
Practicing.
we're rehearsing. We're making a bit of a short film, I guess.
A series of sorts.
Well, I mean, we would like for it to be like a series, but for this first thing, we're calling it a short film. And
Nice.
we're shooting it next week. And so we're just
Keep your eyes open.
Yeah, we were rehearsing, trying to get our lines down and everything.
I'm gonna sell it real quick. Do you enjoy a cheap laugh? Do you enjoy nonsense on a continual basis with potentially witty, potentially
He likes
dumbass?
It's Always Sunny. I think he'll get it.
No, you'll get it. No, but he's right. It's called Champagne Golfer. We got something coming out soon. If it makes anyone feel any better, we're not making money off of it. It's for fun. And so there's no commercials, hopefully. No, but it's going to be fun, dude. Matt, watch it, and then let's talk again. Let's see what your impressions are.
Yeah,
You
let's
seem
see
like a
what you
very
think,
studious young gentleman.
Round 2 podcast. We're
Round
gonna be on your podcast.
Hey, I'll
Yeah.
get you on Matt. I will have you on my podcast. I have 30 people that give a fuck about what I say. But other than that, dude, you are more than welcome.
The whole
I'll do it.
Whole 30. And it's been a minute, dude. This pandemic has fucked everyone. You know what I mean? It's been cool. But yeah, we're 2 years out of it. But
you asked your 4 albums, right? You made them all with Alan, like he produced them. I was gonna
I
ask
did.
how you guys met and how like you guys create the albums and stuff.
So I did 3 of them with Alan, and then the 4th one I did. It was a very collaborative project that I did actually with a few different people.
The DIY
Um,
astronaut, your new one.
yeah, DIY Astronaut I did with Alan. I did some songs with Alan, and I did most of the other songs with Anthony, who is
Anthony Razzo.
a good friend of mine who is also a producer, engineer type guy. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. But Alan and I, we met a long time ago.
Good.
He used to play in a band, and I heard about his band, and I just one of our mutual friends hit me up and was like, "Hey, check out this band," and then I checked it out, and then we kind of got in contact, and eventually, I think like in 2014 or 15, I needed like a drummer to record a project for me. And it was Alan. I hit him up, and then from there on, he was like, "Hey, I'm more than just a drummer. I'm also like a producer engineer." And then I was like, "Oh wow, like that's awesome." And then we just started hanging out, and from then on, it became a very like strong relationship where I was bringing all of my songs to him and recording them at his house, and he became a very integral part of my growth and taught me a lot about producing and recording and a lot in general. Yeah.
Like,
But I
would
would
you
say
say you got to the point now where you can like record things yourself or like solid demos or anything? You think you'll get to that point where you'll do that?
So I've always recorded my own demos. And then I always bring my demos to Alan. And I think just like the more our lives have gone on, Alan has become more busy with like Hail the Sun and like other projects. So then naturally, one of my really good friends, like Anthony is like one of my really good friends. And so I was kind of, one day I was like, "Hey, like Alan's kind of busy. Like, do you think, you can help me out with this?" And then that's how I started recording with Anthony. And it's really just like a thing of convenience, but it was a thing of convenience that turned into like a more fun project, because it was like, oh, I'm like recording at Alan's this weekend, and then this weekend I'm recording at Anthony's, and I really liked all the songs that were coming out of both houses. And then we were hitting different people up to work at like with different songs. Like Anthony was like, "Oh, I got a friend coming in to lay down piano and violin for this song." And then I'd be with Alan, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I think we can do this for this song." So it just became like a very collaborative project where the entire album felt like I was working with a bunch of different friends. That's how
Would you say like your newest album is your favorite, or would you say one of your older ones is?
This newer album of mine is definitely my favorite. I love them all. I think they're all great. But I think I'm always going to be more happy about the newer stuff that I did, just because it's like the experience is fresh in my mind, and the experience was so much fun. And I worked with like so many people on this album. Like I had like features from different artists, like singing on songs. And like I said, like I had some people like come in and play the piano, and some people come in and play the violin. And I had a different guy come in and play drums, because usually Alan plays the drums on the songs. And then I had a different guy come in and play the drums on the songs. He's another friend of mine. And it just felt like a more fun, collaborative project, like amongst like a group of people. And that's why I thought it was like very fun. And I like the ultimate product that it came out to.
Is he the same drummer that was in the music videos?
Yeah. It was Justin, and he was in the last 3 videos.
Justin Conway, he's a monster.
He's really great.
He's got an Instagram, and dude's putting shit out. Yeah, no, you try, like, whatever your dream is, like, he's doing that times 10 while, like, he's fucking doing his taxes. He's got game on everyone.
I met him a few years ago because I needed a drummer for a show, because my usual drummer was busy. And I saw that he had cover one of my songs on Instagram. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. And I hit him up and I was like, hey, where do you live? He was like, oh, I live in LA. And I was like, so do I. And it just worked out from there. And we just became really good friends. And he's a really great writer and performer. And a lot of the songs that we did together, it was super collaborative. And yeah, he's definitely my guy. So he went on my last tour and he's gonna be on the new tour kind of thing.
Yo, Justin is one handsome single. Actually, I don't think he's single. Disease free. He's not single. Sorry, but he's single. He's disease free and he drums like a motherfucker. So come out and give him a high five.
Yeah.
COVID free since '93.
Yeah.
If I can say one thing though, I don't want to interject. I was listening on the way here. I drove down today because we had our own business. Andy Cizek, that his verse in a nice soft painless life. Like I don't know what it was, but like you're right. The people you work with, dude, like it's so refreshing. His verse killed it, dude. Like you could feel the emotion, and then it just coupled well with so much of what your original verses and choruses were. Like the people you're choosing to work with, though, they get you. Or at least, at the very least, they just know how to be symbiotic to you, and it's so beautiful because you're making great albums.
I think ultimately, the people that I like really want to work with are like my peers or my friends. They know that it's a product that has an intention, and I know Andy knows that for sure, and I think he was like, I really want to like make something that's like meaningful, and I think he did that like very well.
Oh, very well.
And I don't know, I think everyone just was trying to do something meaningful, and it was cool. It was very cool. And it was done over the span of 2020 and 2021. Like we were doing it the whole time. Like the entire year of 2020, we were all working on it, sending songs back and forth kind of thing. And I think everyone was just trying to put in something meaningful because what else were we doing? You know, not much.
Yeah. I mean, you put a multiverse part 2.
Hey.
Yeah. Multiverse Part 2 was like it was like a quarantine project. And then I realized that I like wanted that song to be something more. So then I came up with Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is the alternate version of that song. And I just thought like, I think like it would be cool if this song had a different life of its own, just because I don't know. It just seemed like it needed that.
Yeah, I like it. Like both versions are fucking awesome.
Yeah. I think both versions have something different to offer. I don't think it's like a thing where you can say, I like this one more than this one, or I like this one more than this one. I think it's just kind of like, oh, I like both. They're like, they have something different to offer kind of thing.
Yeah, I always put on a Boogeyman too and Champagne Golfer. So it's cool you guys said you're doing like a movie short.
Yeah.
If it's related to the song at all.
Yeah, in a way.
Just the name.
I wrote it. No, it doesn't.
In a way. The song will be in the credits.
Yo, Matt. Okay, this is a weird thing, and I just want to know because I don't. Okay, you seem to be a fan, and if not, cut me off. That's fine. I don't want to make anyone seem wrong in this one. I've been friends with him since I was 12 years old. I've heard all of his albums. I was at his backyard show the first time. I know what's going. Not like I'm a super fan, like I know everything, but like I've listened to enough to know. Right? I'm okay. Yeah. I want to know what your like. At what point did you decide? Like not even like, oh, he's an amazing artist, but you're just like, this is someone I want to listen to. Like this is good music. Or in your opinion, I mean, you hit him up. Like I don't know. Like
he's asking, was it?
When did you become a fan?
Or did it take a few listens?
This is the question. When did you become like a fan, or when did it like pique your interest?
I think the first song I heard is Darth Banks.
Oh, okay.
I loved it. Yeah, that got me like kind of hooked. And then not long after that, I think you made the Multiverse 1, and then you put it like Zombie and all that stuff. and I loved all those. And then when you dropped like your second album,
Matt has been here for the entire.
No, you have. I'm not.
You've been here for the entire process.
Yo, you have. Like, I'm not.
I
trying to be that
appreciate
guy.
you, Matt. I appreciate you.
Matt, let me tell you a little secret.
You have been here for the entire fucking process because
I've been here since Strange Memories.
Yeah, as soon as you say Darth Binks
was
like,
the first song I ever released.
Can I be honest with you, Matt? Look, the first time Andres came up with the first verse of Darth Binks, he picked me up. We're on our way to the gym. It was salty.
Yeah.
And he just goes, yo, I got this fucking new song I'm working on. I was like, let me hear it, dog. Like, and he gives me the first verse. And I'm sitting there in the passenger seat just like, this ain't it, Chief. Like, what are you? I'm like, okay. Like, I don't get it. I was like, it sounds cool, but like, whatever. It becomes his number one song so quickly. And like, it doesn't even matter what the numbers are. The fact that I was so fucking wrong. Like, I was so wrong. I think I bring this up on my own accord constantly. Just because I love to reiterate.
No. Okay, so
I bring this up.
We're living in Bakersfield. It's like 2000.
I was still
15 or 16. And we're driving to the gym, and I have this demo that I just recorded, and it's a full demo of the song Salty. And I'm like, dude, check out the song I just wrote. And I show him the entire song on the way over to the gym, and he literally is just like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Why do you think this song is so good? And I'm just like, dude, you don't get it. Like, once the song is done, like, this is just a demo. It's gonna be awesome.
No, I'm gonna put
he was just like, I don't know. I don't get it.
I'm putting myself out there so hard of like not a true believer in Andres. It was months. It was his number one song for a minute before I was like, you know what?
It's really good.
I guess his song isn't too bad.
All I want to say is that if you think you know something, you don't. And look forward to being proven wrong, because
I think that happens all the time.
It's a huge blessing though, because as a friend who sees like his own growth and shit, you see something that I'm like whatever, and literally changing your name into like what it is essentially with this hit. Yeah. And like it's the funniest fucking thing. Like nobody knows, dude. Like I just see him create what he likes to do, and they turn out being cool, and that's cool. You know what I mean? Like nobody knows. You don't know what's popular. You don't know what's gonna work.
I think all that matters is if you are a fan of what you're creating. That's all that matters.
That's actually the best advice you ever gave me before an open mic. Was the audience will tell you what's good, and it. Literally has not proven me wrong to this point.
But if you're a fan of what you're doing, that'll show more than anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
Yeah, just do what you want to do. If like you're putting your heart into it, people are gonna notice that.
That, and also, I think it's more than that, because putting your heart into something is pretty ambiguous.
That's true.
That's a very fair point.
I think that if like what you're doing and you're a fan of it and you're like confident about it, that is something entirely different.
That's
what like. It's like I've been writing songs for like at this point. No, it's like, let's say I wrote my first song in 5th grade, and I'm showing you the song Salty when I'm like 23 or something. Let's see, in 5th grade, you're 10 years old.
13 years.
So 13. So let's say I've been writing songs for 13 years. In my head, I'm like, this song is good. I don't care if you don't like it. Like, I think the song is great. I go and record it and I release it. And that there's a confidence behind that. And it's not necessarily that like I put my heart into it. It was just like, I knew the song was good because I'm confident in like my abilities. And I think the song is good. And I think people are going to enjoy it, kind of thing.
But I think you also just know.
I mean, obviously putting your heart into it is like a given. Like you're going to put your heart into it no matter what. But then there's that next step where it's like you're confident about it. You're past the part where you put your heart into it and you're confident and you're going to release it anyways.
Yo, that's some shit.
Yeah.
Well, like there's a book I love. It's called The War of Art. And that's essentially what he says.
Yeah, The War of Art.
And like one of the opening parables says, I forget the writer, and he goes, it's an interview, and somebody asked the writer, when do you find inspiration? And when do you write? And he goes, only when I have inspiration. And then he goes, and then the interviewer goes, so when do you find inspiration? And he goes, luckily inspiration strikes every morning at 9 a.m. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a practice to the beauty of the art. You know what I mean? Like you put yourself in that arena by trying, and like, it's more than putting your heart into it. I put my heart into things that turn out to be bullshit and like never materialized, and they were just nonsense. But it's the effort of just, I think, believing in your craft, creating the art you want to hear. And I don't mean to speak for anybody. I'm sorry.
And being confident about it.
Confident, because you know what you like. You have good taste.
You know what you like.
You know what you like.
Yeah,
you know what's bad.
Like comedians do it all the time. They're confident about their joke being funny, whether
Anthony Jeselnik.
Whether
Whether
somebody
it's not good or not.
whether somebody finds it offensive or somebody doesn't find it funny, they are confident, and that's why they said it. And they're just one person on a stage with a microphone. And I think that's the most powerful thing ever.
And in that position, all you need is one other person to be like, I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the same thing with music. You need one other person. I get it.
Yeah,
because that's all this is.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Do you do that, like, Andreas, when you're like writing or the process or lyrics? Like, do you sit down or do you wait for things to like hit you?
Stands.
I usually write things on my phone. I usually write things on my phone like a few times a week, actually. Like I'll find random inspiration, or I'll find like a random thought or something that like kind of triggers something that I think could be used in a song, and I write it on my phone. And then usually I'll try to sit down and write the song starting with the music. So I'll start with the guitar part. I'll start with instrumentals. I'll really sit there and try to build up the music. And then I'll start coming up with the lyrics and the melodies and stuff. And really the first place I go to is my phone, and I look at all the notes that I wrote. I'm like, okay, that kind of fits. And then I'll see what fits, or like see what naturally fits. And usually it takes me like one or two lines to like jumpstart an entire song. And then I'll just sit there for a few hours, and I'll come up with all the lyrics line per line. So I'll come up with like a line, and then I'll record it. And then I'll sit there and I'll come up with the next line. I'll just think about it, and then I'll record it. And then I'll just sit there and listen to those two lines, and I'll come up with the next line, and then I'll record it. And that's how I write my songs. I don't even write them down really per se. It's not like a process where I write all the lyrics out. It's kind of a thing where I'm working on a song, and I come up with the lines section by section in my head, and then I just record it. And that becomes the demo that I'll take like to the studio to record the official version.
I was just gonna ask that. I'm like, do you wait till you're in the studio? I'm like, that would be costly if you're like,
no. This is when I'm making my
hit a
demos.
block.
When I'm in the studio, like I'm ready to go. But when I'm making my demos, like that's how I come up with my demos. It's like line per line. And usually I feel like the reason why this process I feel like works really well for me is because the idea that every line counts means that every line counts. I think the idea of writing a song on a piece of paper, you're not really thinking about whether each line is worth something. You know, you end up writing something that might be like, I am the ocean and you are the stars. You know, like you might write some shit like that because you think it looks good on paper. But when you're listening to a song and you're like, you want every line to count, you might end up saying some shit like, I found your OnlyFans last night and I hit subscribe. You know, like you wouldn't have come up with that if you were going to write it down. But you came up with that because you thought it sounded good while you were recording it. And it sounded maybe funny or provocative or something.
Talkative, provocative.
That's why I prefer to record. I prefer to write as I record my demos versus writing it down. I think writing it down is always going to be like, you're going to come up with some corny shit if you write it down.
That makes sense.
I'll type some of it out. I will type some of it out. But I do think that like the idea of writing a song before you're like gonna sing it, I think that leaves a lot of room for failure. Unless you're like a really great lyricist. I don't know. Maybe that works for you.
But that everyone has their own like opinion.
And yeah, everyone's got their own thing. I don't know. I think if I try to write a song like on paper, if I try to like write a poem, no, it would come out pretty great. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, there's a song I really like, and it's by Ezekiel or Ezra Ezekiel or something like that. And the opening line is, "I wrote the song on a paper bag," and then like it goes into like whatever the song is, like you know.
I see. Okay, so like one of my favorite lyricists is
Great song.
Connor Oberst from Bright Eyes.
Yeah.
I can picture some of his songs being written on paper because they're very poetic, but I can also see some of them like not. I guess I should rephrase what I said.
Well, no, I think what you're saying holds stance. Like, no, you're not wrong.
I don't think that writing things on paper works the best for me, but maybe it works really well for other artists.
The best jokes I've written have been the bag of receipts I find in my glove box. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like to run with like a thought and then just kind of come up with it. But I guess there's not really a difference.
That's the jazz hound, baby.
I don't know.
That's the jazz hound.
Hey, it's all jazz,
improv,
baby. Hey,
you know?
we're improvising. We're improvising, baby. It's jazz. Yeah.
Matt, I like you. You're
I can't sing.
I think I might have went off tangent.
Yeah,
Dude, you're answering like all the questions that I had written down. We're just doing it like in a flow,
Okay.
easy
All right.
conversation.
I got a question. I want you to ask something lascivious and scandalous.
I don't even know what lascivious means.
Oh, I got one.
Lascivious. Let's start this shit. Let's get it weird.
Oh, I think it's in like your new album. You talk how your friends think that your last album was a cry for help or something, or a crock of shit. I'm like, do you feel that way? Because I like that album a lot. But I know, isn't a couple of the songs you recorded back from your old band, right?
Yeah.
That was a great album.
I love that album.
I do too.
But around the time that I came out with that album, the general consensus was this is an emo album. Everyone was saying like, oh, this album's really emotional. This album's really like slow and emo. And so because that was a general consensus, like whenever anybody talks about that album, they're just like, oh, that was your emo album. That was like your slow emo album. That's why I wrote that lyric. It was like, hey, my friends all think the last album that I wrote was a cry for help. Because it was like, it's the album where people, you don't say that about the other albums. You don't say like, oh, that's your emo album, you know, like, but people say that about the album. They're like, this is the album where like you have a lot of slow songs, and you were being really sad and shit. So it's like, that's the emo album.
Arguably though, about that,
it's the emo album.
It's the emo album.
I like emo music though, so
dude,
that's why I loved it.
I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that. That didn't make me think that the album wasn't good. It was just like, okay, everyone thinks this is the emo album because it is, so I'm gonna say something about it.
Well, like, do you think though that is your most beautiful lyrics? Because like, let's say, whatever the one where you come at the beach, when it's like, I don't want to talk, I just want to walk, I don't want to think, I just want to drink. Like, it's so much more imperative though. It's so much more imperative.
No, it's emo because there's like 3 songs that are really slow.
But they're slow, but the lyrics
usually in an album, there's only 1 song that's slow, but there was 3 songs that were slow. And on top of that, the lyrics and all the other songs were already pretty emo.
Yeah, fair.
That's where it comes.
I get it. They're wrong.
It's when you have more than 1 slow song. That's where that like idea comes from.
That's still like 70% faster songs.
Yeah.
10 on the album.
Well, then one of them was like a skit, and the other 2 songs were songs that I had written before I decided to rebrand as Andrés. But those songs were also pretty emo. There was like a screamo part in one of them. And
did you guys re-record Did you re-record those ones?
No.
For the album? No.
Ripped them straight from fucking Bandcamp.
Yeah, what happened was before I decided to rebrand as Andrés, I was already doing everything on my own. but under the title of Terra Alive. And I decided, I was like, you know what? I really like these two songs. I already took Sunday school from that EP as well. I did an EP with Alan before I just became a solo artist, but I was already a solo artist.
But still under Terra.
I was just still going by this name that I came up with when I was in junior high. And then I finally decided, you know what? We're going to retire this name. We're going to take these songs over to my new endeavor, so to say. And so that's really what happened.
Nice. I was always curious about that.
Yeah, I came up with the name Terra Live when I was in 8th grade. And I did Terra Live throughout high school with a bunch of different people. And then even after high school with a bunch of different people. And then ultimately I met Alan and I was like, hey man, like I have this project called Terra Live and I think I can just do it by myself if you're willing to help me. And he's like, sure. And then we did it. And then I was like, you know what? I should rebrand this whole Terra Live thing. I've been doing it since junior high. So try something new. So I rebranded as a solo artist. And that's when I decided, okay, we can bring some of these songs into these albums because it was the same team of people. It was me and Alan.
It's a lot better band name than I came up with in high school.
What was your band name?
Oh, like really bad ones. Probably like The Sun Rises Over the Moon or like something like that. Like really bad. I think one was Making Memories. Pretty cheesy.
Dude, those aren't bad. I mean, there's worse out there.
Pretty bad. Yeah, it's true.
Here's the thing, though. U2 is a terrible band name, but they made it big. Bono, dude. He doesn't even have a last name, but we like love him.
Just
like,
take the one letter.
One letter, one name. You're gonna be famous, kids. That's all it turns into.
Yeah, let's plug in Bono, Sing 2 in theaters now.
I mean, if the album showed up on my phone, I'm sure the album will too, or the movie will too.
I don't know. It's up to the people to make it cool. There was an artist named XXX
Tentacion.
a name that's almost impossible to pronounce or write down. And
Yo,
yet he became extremely successful.
But you look at it and you know what it is by just instead of words,
Same
it becomes
thing
a
when
picture.
you look at Bono.
Yeah, you see a picture of the word, not the name.
Yeah.
You know, it becomes a product.
Arguably, simplicity isn't like different from complexity because they both make you remember it.
Yo, like Hulu, like I'm sorry you guys don't have it, but like I think in Silicon Valley they make a joke about it. Like you gotta go and have your awakening in the desert. Like where do you think Hulu came from, or like this bullshit? But it's true. The simplicity like almost adds to the like allure of the mystery just as much as like what is XXX Tentacion? It's like what the fuck is a Bono? Like it's the same shit, you know?
Yeah, like people thought it was extension.
Yeah. What's porn extension?
Yeah,
You know,
they
you see
thought his
Triple
name
X.
was extension. It was
Pornography. Hopefully.
I gotta look up this Triple X. Never even heard of this artist.
Juice WRLD, nothing.
No.
I think we need to end this shit now.
XXX Tentacion.
It's pretty good.
He's got a lot of great songs. He's good.
It's all good. I'm recording this. I can hear it later.
Word. He's gonna edit it and be like, "Fuck, I gotta have," and then it's gonna be bumping. I still see the shadows in my.
That's Juice WRLD.
I know. Who did I say? Yeah, I said that initially.
Yeah.
I'm just making an ass of myself. Was he not in Juice WRLD?
Juice WRLD is his own artist.
I thought that was a group.
Nope.
Yeah,
He
I never
was
got into
one
it.
guy. Juice WRLD was one guy. XXX Tentacion was another guy, and they both died the same year.
Oh,
Or
word.
like practically the same.
Listen to Juice WRLD too. That one song, it's pretty good. I don't know anything more.
Yeah, it's
about
pretty
it.
good.
It's
Yeah.
pretty good if you want to cry a little bit, but like have some hip hop vibes. Like keep hypey.
I got 2 more questions, boys.
Let's do it.
Why am I here?
Listen here, boys. I was gonna ask Andres if you have any tips that you'd like to maybe share with other musicians, and then the last thing, if you want to plug anything like tour dates or your vinyls are out now, aren't they, for sale?
Yo,
Not yet.
Unless they're
not
delayed.
They're delayed. Yeah, they're for sale, but they're delayed. So I'm gonna be real. I've been giving a lot of advice out to a lot of people, and
Is it good advice?
It's the best advice, and no one takes it seriously. So I kind of question whether I should continue to give my advice because no one takes it. Like literally, no one takes it. I tell them, I did this, and this, and everyone's like,
That sounds hard.
okay, I'm not going to do any of that. And then they're like, what do I do now? And I'm like, you didn't listen to me. I just gave you my formula. I have a formula. You didn't take it. So with that being said, I will give you my advice or my formula, so to say.
For like Ben, for example, he was giving me tips on how like he gets his wicked floor tom sounds. He's like, I just cranked that bottom real tight. He said,
"Are you a drummer?"
Blankets. Yeah, I'm a drummer.
Oh, okay.
My kit's in a studio. Is my electric back here.
So what kind of tips are you asking for?
Also, I love that neon ghost you got right there. That guy's cool. Does he have a name?
Oh, I just got it on Amazon.
Its name is Christopher. We're just deciding.
What kind of tips are you asking for here? What kind of tips?
Like anything music related, like even like you got a cool guitar tip or something, or like
what do you think is you?
So sweet vocal warm up or something, just like
anything to help people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about tips on like
no, you can elaborate.
Building your career.
That's what that is your interpretation.
Yeah.
Answer it that way.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing. Number one, be a good songwriter.
Be a good
For like the first thing, be a good songwriter. Two, get your songs recorded professionally. Get them mixed and mastered, get them engineered, get them done very well. You want to make sure that your songs are presented in the best way possible.
Real quick. So you're saying spend the money.
Spend money to make your songs sound good. You can be a great songwriter and record it in your house, but it's not going to sound good if you spend money to get it done very well. It's like you can be a really good visionary and record something on your iPhone, but it's not going to look good as if you paid people to film it, you know?
With a red camera.
Exactly. Or you could be a really good writer, but it's not going to look good unless you hire real actors to act it out. So spend the money, save the money, have a job, save the money, make a professional product. Be good at what you do. Spend the money to make the product really good. On top of that, make visuals, make music videos. On top of that, tour. Play as many shows as you possibly can. Don't ever think that you're worth too much. Always take the free show or take the $100 guarantee. Do whatever you can. Play as many shows as you can. And then just rinse and repeat all those things. Make albums, music videos, tour, reinvent yourself, be creative, and put a lot of money into what you do. Everything that you put out should have a lot of intention behind it. You can't just put a song out and think it's going to do well. You have to have a really good music video. The music video's got to be entertaining. It's got to be interesting. There's got to be something quirky about it. Like, think about everything. Think about how a thing that like I find it in my like field is that like there's a lot of great musicians and they're like, oh, I fucking play guitar so well, or I play my instruments so well. Why should I have to worry about gimmicks or like entertaining people? Well, you have to remember that this is the entertainment business and that there are certain bands that you love that are entertaining. They're entertaining and you didn't realize it. You didn't realize that you were being entertained, and that's why you even got into this shit in the first place. There's that drummer who's like very charismatic and, you know, he's a drummer and he's crazy. And he's throwing shit around. Yeah. That's entertaining to you. And that's a form of entertainment. So if you're not being that, then you're not being entertaining. You can't just be good at drums anymore. You know, like look at Eric and Prada. He's playing the drums very well, but he's also doing backflips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a showman, and a lot of bands they interpret that different ways. If you look at Blink 182, all of their music videos were funny. It's like you were watching like American Pie in like 3 minutes. They were always like very funny music videos, and then it made you love the band. Even bands like the Mars Volta. The Mars Volta was very like theatrical, and their songs had a lot of commercial moments. They had a lot of entertaining theatrical moments. So when you think that your talent should get you alone, you got to rethink that. You got to rethink. It's like it's talent, and then it's entertainment. You got to think about the entertainment part, and then you have to put the money into it, and you have to work really hard and play shows, and you have to humble yourself before all of these things. That's my advice.
Can I add one thing to like just a perspective, if I can? I don't want to take away from you, but as someone who has not been in bands like professionally, but has seen my friend like do the steps to be done to make people care about them, at the very least, be uncomfortable. Get used to
uncomfortable.
Sleep on floors couches where there's cat piss 2 feet from your face. You know what I mean? When somebody offers you anything, you say, yes, thank you. And you make those connections. Because I've gone around, like I sub t-shirts for him over the years off and on. I've gone on tour with him. Like I've seen some of the rough parts, but not the roughest. And it's just an outside perspective of anyone who wants this. I can tell you from like watching this, you're gonna hate your life for a couple years. Who wants this? You're gonna hate life in the best way possible. But get uncomfortable. Be used to just like understanding it's a grind.
Sacrifice.
You have to sacrifice.
You have to sacrifice your income. You have to sacrifice your comfortability.
Just like a business,
you have to sacrifice, dude. You have to sacrifice a lot. That's what I really, really, really. That's my tips. Like those are my tips right there.
Andres makes no money. It is all put right back into his product of making albums and music videos.
I make money,
but he spends it.
But I put it all back into.
All right, I'm trying to make you seem humble, but okay, I'm trying to help.
No, I'm just saying that like for a while there, I was just throwing everything back into what I was doing.
You still are though.
I still am. But
you can tell like the production of all your stuff and the music videos
getting better because I have more money to put into it. So it's because, you know, I think about, okay, all this money is coming in. We need to put that back into it to make a better product to, you know, to grow.
And then maybe next year when your band comes to the same city, maybe you can afford a La Quinta Inn. You know what I mean? Like
not a Motel 6.
Not a Motel 6.
Motel.
I was looking at that a little earlier. But like, no, like that is like what it is. Like I haven't paid dues. This isn't me saying my experience. I'm just solidifying what he's saying because I've watched it firsthand.
It's a process. It's a process. And my, you know, just to put on that, like as far as tips go, our advice is that, you know, you really have to be in it. There's no like there's no way you can do this casually. You have to do it and you're in it.
Yeah, you don't get married casually.
I know people that are like, I'm gonna casually do this and it's gonna work out. Nope, you have to be in it. Like
you're gonna play the
you're just in it. Like my drummer, the drummer that I have now, he moved to LA because he wanted to be in it. And when I first met him, I was like, hey man, like how much do you want to get paid? And he was like, I don't know, I've never been paid before. Dude went to Berkeley
School of Music.
And he's an incredible drummer.
Even I know that.
Yeah.
No. I didn't know that until recently.
Well, he was like, you know, when I first met him, he was just like, I don't know, maybe you can decide and I'll see if it's fair, you know? And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then we figured it out and we became friends and I keep raising his rate. And now he's starting to get hired by other artists. And now he's like telling me, he's like, hey, I think I'm going to ask them for this much. And I'm like, you should ask them for that much. You know, like that's how that like thing progresses. Like you go through a few things and then you start realizing like what we can ask for, what you don't ask for, or how you deal with certain situations kind of thing.
Yo, also, listen to the fucking opening bands. Andreas, for the past fucking 15 years, I've seen him in the stand watching an opening band to him. Like,
I don't know how, like, I'm a I probably go to like 20, 30 concerts before COVID a year. I'm
Mm.
always there for the opening bands. It drives me nuts when people just show up for the headliner. I'm like, why did you pay to come here?
Watch them all.
Why?
You know what? Watch them all and talk to every single person.
And you'll make friends that eventually will become famous, and then you get to go to shows for free. Don't be a cock.
It's just like you build a sense of community. You build a sense of community, and like one of those
That's
people
really
might
what it
become
is.
helpful. Like you might be doing a tour and it's like, oh, I really need a bass player. Well, I just met like 50 bass players for these last 2 years.
Who are all amazing and nice people.
You know
and
what I
have
mean?
their
It's
own
always
band.
good to like be a part of the community. That's also an important thing is watch the local bands, talk to them, talk to everybody kind of thing.
Good advice.
I spoke
wanna-
too much. That's my bad.
You want to plug in anything before we wrap up? Anything you want
Just
Anything
check out
coming
my Adventures of a DIY Astronaut. And then look out for Champagne Golfers.
Champagne Golfers. Hopefully in February. We're on his tour in February. Starts in Chicago, February 4th. First like 2 weeks of it, I'm gonna be on there. Not that I'm special, but I'm good for a cheap laugh. And I think if anything, I've definitely proven that here. And
Look out for Champagne Golfers and an Anime Mommy video.
yo, Anime Mommy video coming out quick.
to? Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I didn't
All
know.
right. I'll let you guys go then. I appreciate taking the time. It was a good hangout.
Much love, Matt. I appreciate you, brother.
If you're in California, hit us
Yeah.
up, dog.
I'll be sure to include all things Andreas below, and then I'll let you know when this is coming out, man.